A local initiative formed to unite the community against hatred and anti-Semitism kicks off its annual race next weekend. Here to talk about it is Heather Terrill, J Institute Director at the Jewish Community Alliance. Heather, welcome back.
Thank you very much for having us.
We're also joined by Eleanor Blair, Vice President of Strategic Communications and Connections at the YMCA of Florida's First Coast. Eleanor, nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So, Heather, this is the third year of Together Against Hate, this initiative. Remind us a little bit about its roots, why this initiative was started, what was happening at the time.
Okay, so it was around the time that they had projected the anti-Semitic imagery on both the stadium and CSX building, and our CEO at the JCA, Adam Chaskin, and Eric Mann, the CEO of the First Coast YMCA, got together. They're old friends, and they were like, excuse me. They were like, we really need to do something, but not sure what. Let's bring our teams in and discuss this and figure out what we can do to combat this kind of hatred. And so that's when they brought in the JCA and the YMCA, and we started talking and brainstorming, and it's where we landed.
And so, what was the conclusion of those conversations? What was the decision reached about what could help, what might advance the conversation, promote community unity, or fight some of these really ugly, hateful messages?
So we decided that we would have, it's usually a 5-part speaker series that happens September through January. And then in February, we do a 5K walk run. And so it's kind of a culmination, a visual display of seeing everybody come together and unify in the same message and mission. And we wanted to make sure that we were highlighting not just anti-Semitism, but other forms of hatred and bigotry that shows how similar these hatreds really are and how we're all so similar.
Heather, I want to come back to that because there is a part of me that thinks things are getting worse instead of better in some ways. And so I want to get your reflections on that, but I want to bring you into the conversation, Eleanor. First of all, what is the YMCA's role? Why join this partnership? How has it been for the YMCA as an organization to be a partner in this?
So the YMCA has been here on the First Coast for over 100 years. And, our role is to support our community, build stronger communities. And, our mission and our purpose is around being for all and always open to all. And so when Adam and Eric met and talked about this initiative, the partnership was strong. We felt like it was part of our work and social responsibility. And so we jumped right on board.
And it's sort of an interfaith alliance in some ways, too. Obviously, the YMCA has its roots and its name in Christian traditions. And this was a partnership in part to push back specifically on anti-Semitism, in addition to other forms of intolerance and bigotry, but with the JCA. And so it was sort of a cross-community alliance as well.
Absolutely. Our core values are built on Christian principles. So that is really where we felt like honesty, respect, responsibility. Those are all the core values that we hold dear, and also the JCA. And so we definitely partnered together, and we actually, especially our first year, had so many community partners in alliance with, an interfaith, One Jacks, 90 Forward. We had so many great partners that were interested in being part of our speaker series with us to talk about some really difficult topics, honestly, but needed education. We felt like building understanding was part of the solution. You don't know what you don't know. So it was helpful to create those topics and have discussion.
So, Heather, let's talk about the state of things, because there are a lot of ugly things happening right now in the world when it comes to the rise of white supremacy and all kinds of ugly incidents online, in the real world. How do you measure success? What are you seeing locally? Are you having an impact?
I would definitely say that we're having an impact. I think when we have people come up to us afterwards and thank us for either representing their community or for actually opening the door for educating them on something that they didn't understand. A lot of the hate comes from ignorance, and it's not because people are dumb. It's because they've never been exposed to another culture or another background. And so it's so important to do this work, because giving people that little kind of grasp of, this is what this culture brings to the table. And guess what? It's just like your culture. People are able to see the similarities, and I think it's really amazing.
So we should say, I mean, this is a way to show up if you are wanting to be seen protesting and, objecting to hateful messages. This is a 5K. It's a run walk. So if you don't feel like running it, you don't have to. There's also a fun run, but it's February 22nd, which is next Sunday. It's at the Winston Family YMCA. We've got a link if you want to sign up for the race on our website. You can, of course, go to the both websites to find more information. But we appreciate the work that you guys are doing. Thanks so much for coming on today and talking about it. Heather, Eleanor, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much for having us.
All